210. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Some of you probably don't know my guest, or probably you know her face. She appeared in some movies and maybe commercials, and if you ever been to my festival in the early days, you would see her performing with a team called Funk Nasty, I believe. And so that was a memorable one because that was one of the few great routines that were performed during that time. I think that was around 2009, 2010. Please welcome Sonia Balcazar.
Hi, hello everyone.
Well, how are you, beautiful lady, girl? I should say still girl because you look young as ever.
I'm good. I'm doing good. Thank
I
you
mean,
for inviting me to
I,
be on your show. I'm really excited.
well, although I've seen you, we've known each other for a long time, but we don't see each other often. Not to mention you're a little MIA from the dance scene, I think.
Absolutely, yes.
But
Focusing on acting, but
yeah,
yes.
and I was talking to Jiju John a month ago and doing a podcast with because I was watching Netflix, right? And I saw his film. It was some type of like a forensic, actually forensic. That was the movie Forensic. I was looking at it and it's like that dude looks familiar. Although he is a bad character there. He's a murderer and all of that stuff. And so
He played a bad guy.
he looks so different with his beard and everything. And it's like I didn't know that was Jiju. It's like what the hell? What did you do?
Jiju's a great
He mentioned that
actor.
he made a film with you and that podcast. I was like, Sonia's like, I'm not really sure. Like, see,
Like which
because
Sonia?
if you're not active in the scene, as old as I am, I'll forget. But I will never forget the face, of course. Sonia, you studied acting, right?
Yes.
And to those of you,
Well, I went to college for I have a business degree. I have a bachelor's in business administration with a concentration in marketing management. But I did study. It's a funny story. I would love to tell it.
Go ahead. I mean, how did you get into that?
I always wanted to act. And when I was in, junior high school, act and dance, both things. I have a passion for both, but I wanted to study acting in college. And college applications are coming around and I'm, filling them out. I'm telling my dad, my parents, and we're talking about my major and I want to major in acting and, performance and art. And my dad said, absolutely not. My dad's a very traditional Mexican American man. And he was like, absolutely not. Nope. I'm not paying for my daughter to go to college to be a starving artist. No, you're not going to make any money. You're going to be suffering when you're older. Nope.
Yeah.
Practical.
Yeah.
So my dad helped choose my major, which was business. And he goes, here's the deal. I'll pay for you to go to college. You study business. And then when you're done, you do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. So after I graduated from college with my business degree, I paid for myself to go back to school for acting. So that
how many years was that?
I did a 2-year intensive program in San Francisco at the Shelton Studios with Gene Shelton, Matt Shelton, the Shelton family in San Francisco. Yeah. Super intensive program for 2 years. And I finished that program in 2009.
Oh my God! How much is like the tuition? Just to give us an idea of what they need to go through as far as cost is concerned when it comes to acting school.
Gosh, I can't even remember. Just because beyond that program, I've taken so many classes, before that and after that. I still take classes now because I'm always trying to perfect my craft. I'm always trying to get better. So, I mean, it's a lifelong passion. I can't even tally it for you because it doesn't matter how much I've spent on it. You just have to research different schools, different programs. It's not cheap, but
Were you? Is the training like hands-on?
Absolutely, everything is hands-on. It's all workshop. Like you're actually in it. You're physically there.
Yeah.
Intensive rehearsals and hours of preparation. and studying, you know, on your own, and then coming back prepared. A lot of performances as well to practice what you've learned. But now with COVID, it's a different world. So anybody who's trying to study acting is going to get an online experience, which is completely different than being
absolutely there. Yeah.
But I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Right? But I think, I mean, when it comes to training acting or actors and actresses, are they basically conceptual courses, or like, I know that many actors, some of the actors that I know and the actors that I have watched on certain interviews and training, they prefer the hands-on training. Just like, I mean, if we were looking at, you know, what's the college of the inside the actor studio? What's that university name? I forgot the university name. It's that inside the actor studio really had been training hands-on actors and actors. Like the most successful student they've ever had is Bradley Cooper. I mean, not to mention, you know, he got nominated for Oscar. Yeah, and most of them really prefer the hands-on training.
When you say hands-on versus what compared to what?
Theory, concepts, you know.
Okay. Well, I think it's important to, and this is the side of acting I think that a lot of people don't know. There's technique, right? Yeah. You must understand. Well, first choose, you know, what school you'd like to go to, what style, what type of teaching you want, what works best for you, because it's not the same for every actor. Every actor might learn different. They might receive a different type of acting school differently. So, you know, it just depends on what works for you. So that's why I suggest for actors that are starting out to try different types of acting schools to see what best fits your style. But there's always technique, right? There's a foundation. You have to get the technique down, and the technique is across the board. If you don't have a good foundation for the technique, which is beginning, like technique 1, 2, 3, all of the foundation, then you can't be free later on. So your goal as an actor is to eventually be free, be in your body, but you have to put in the work and the time to understand the techniques first and the foundation of acting, which goes very deep. And then you can start building upon that and building upon that and building upon that. There's also these ideas of, there's a natural actor, someone who doesn't really need to go to school. They just have it. Yeah. And yet there are many actors who just have it and probably have never went to an acting school ever.
Were you a natural actor before studying acting?
I wouldn't say I was a natural actor. I wouldn't ever give myself that credit. I worked at it, but I had the passion to work at, like, it called to me. So right. I couldn't put that to bed. I really had to listen to that passion. So I kept going. But
well, let me ask you this. What's the most challenging project you've taken so far when it comes to either filming or other stuff?
The most challenging. Probably the shoot that I did with Juju.
Olavenki.
Right? Olavenki. Yeah. Yes, that was pretty challenging. We did. It was the best experience. I mean, a challenge I will do 100 times over. We filmed guerrilla style, so we did not have permits to the San Francisco streets where we were at. We just showed. I mean, everything was planned in the production. We knew we were supposed to be in what time, but we didn't have permits to be there, and so we just filmed and, you know, watched out and just made sure, you know, nobody was going to come and cite us or anything, but we got it in, and there was very little sleep. I remember one day we shot for more than 24 hours.
I bet.
30-hour day, but it was because we were going from, you know, location to location to location to get the shots in for that day. I slept, of course, in between. I remember sleeping at a Starbucks. We were taking a break in between locations, and I told Juju and the director, I said, I just need to lay my head down. I'm going to take a nap. I laid my head down on the table at Starbucks. I napped. Another time that day, I napped in the car. So I mean, you just got to do what you got to do.
Well, not too many people know this, but with actors and actresses, they think that, or the non-actors and non-actresses who just watch movies, they think that it's easy. You know, when they see a film like this, I mean, for me, I wasn't even in a movie film, but I was just in a musical video. I was playing a part of a Asian rich man who the Dominicana had an affair with. And it was just a small part, mind you. We were just in bed. I was reading book. And then the other time we were just sitting together. That took all day. You know?
Yes, it takes time, especially, you know, just because if you see a 1 minute piece of a film, that 1 minute probably took several hours throughout the day to get the wide shot, you know, the different shots for each of the actors and the lighting, all the preparation, the sound. So much time and energy and resources go into even setting up that shot. And then you're like, that was only a minute of footage, really?
Yeah.
But that's the way it works, right?
You know, I totally missed that movie. Is that anywhere else in a stream or anything at all?
Yes. Right when we went into shelter in place, the director, Sandeep, he decided to put it online on YouTube.
Oh.
So it's available. You can watch it on YouTube if you search for Olavenki.
Olavenki, yeah.
Yes, and Gigi's connected to it as well. Gigi was a producer on that.
And this was filmed in the Bay Area entirely, correct?
Yes, all throughout the Bay Area. And if you're from the Bay Area, you will notice some of the landmarks. Funny story, we filmed in front of AT&T Park.
Yeah.
Where the Giants play. And that day, to talk about how difficult it is to be an actor, San Francisco cold, like really, really
yeah, of course, yeah.
weather, right? I'm wearing a red coat, and you know, my co-star, he doesn't have a coat on, and we're not supposed to be freezing cold in the scene, but it was freezing cold, and the wind chill was just, it was so cold. We were shivering. We were shivering like this, like shh. And then when they yelled action, we would be like, say our lines, you know, perform the scene, and then like,
it's an art, really.
And I watch that scene now and I think, oh boy, that day was cold, but you cannot tell in my face that I was shivering.
What is the, Sonia, what is the plot of that movie to give people an idea?
Oh, it's a beautiful love story. It's a beautiful love story.
Does it involve dancing as well?
It does.
Ah.
Yeah, at the dancing in the beginning of the scene, and you'll see some salseras there.
Yeah.
Salseros.
That we know?
I'm sure you do. Yeah,
Okay.
they filmed one of the scenes that kind of sets up the story.
Yeah.
Kokomos.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah, and you'll see a lot of San Francisco in there, but it's a story between two individuals. The male character's from India, and his family's very traditional, the Indian tradition, as well as, you know, the background in regards to his culture, his food, the family traditions, the arranged marriages, the music, and then you know, meditation for him. He meditates, right?
Yeah.
He has this odd way of meditating, and you'll have to watch the film.
I'll probably watch it tonight because it's the weekend. I got nothing to do anyway. I've watched all of his films already, except that because I couldn't.
Oh my god, you have to watch that.
I couldn't find it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll send you the link right after.
Send me a link, yeah.
And then myself, I play, you know, Mexican American woman who also has a very traditional family, traditional father. You know, there's music, there's culture, there's food. So it's these two, you know, different cultures that kind of cross paths. These two cross paths.
Yeah. And
you understand throughout the film that there's actually a lot of similarities between the two cultures.
Yeah.
A lot of similarities, and it's a comedy. So there's a lot of like things that happen that, you know, are just kind of trip you up, and then they come together. It's really fun.
Yeah.
It out. It's a great love story.
Sonia, do people mistake you for in public for not being Sonia but being Eva Mendes?
People don't mistaken me for but I hear it at least twice a week.
Yeah, yeah.
At least
I mean,
twice a week.
I think I used to tell you that in the old days.
You did, yeah. I'm sure you have. Yes, I hear it from people. At least I hear it from strangers. Coffee shop.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, has anybody ever told you look like Evan Mendez? I'm like, yes, I hear.
You
this
know,
is like
the great thing about your industry now. The great thing about your industry.
Funny story, actually, really quick. Before you go on, funny story.
Yeah.
I just moved to Los Angeles again. I used to live here before.
So you're in LA now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. But funny story, speaking of Evan Mendez, I got to work with her brother, who's an actor.
Oh, is that right?
We worked last Friday. We actually shot here in my apartment.
Okay.
And sorry, they look alike. They
do, huh?
Yes. Look him up. His name is Carlo Mendez.
Yeah.
He's an actor. He's a working actor out here as well. Wonderful, professional, talented actor. He loves comedy. My cousin, who's in the film industry, she connected us to cast us in an independent piece that we're doing.
Yeah.
So we shot a couple weeks back, or as soon as I moved out here, and then shot last Friday, the last piece of the scene. But yeah, I got to work with her brother. So I thought that was pretty serendipitous, right?
No, it is. I was just going to ask you that and where you live now, because last time I known you lived in the East Bay. I mean, not South Bay.
South Bay.
And now you live in LA. So you're definitely in the right place.
Yes.
And mind you, the industry now, as I was going to tell you earlier, is that the minorities are now getting lots of jobs when it comes to movie parts, because the situation has changed and is changing to putting more importance on the minorities acting in every genre of movies, really. So that's I think that's a promising thing for you.
It is. I think technology is also playing a big role in that. It's a key factor in the ability for us to tell our stories. And that's really my passion. My passion is to tell the story of the human condition, but tell my story. Tell the people of the women who experience what I experience, or the women in my life, or the women that I know, or other women of color who have these life experiences. We need to get these stories out. But now with the ability to post things on YouTube, post on IGTV,
absolutely, yeah,
on any of these platforms, makes it accessible for us to create, to write, produce, create our own content and get it out there. So it's technology has been key in helping us tell the stories, share them, and get them out there. We need to get them on HBO, on Hulu, on Netflix. Like these stories need to be shared.
There's so many streaming services now. It's unbelievable, which is really a good thing, because now you could appear in one of those streams given it's the right contract and price and all of that stuff with the producer. But one of my bucket list, not too many people know this. They think that my passion is just bachata. I was a counselor for a long time there. I have my degree. I have my master's in counseling psychology.
Right. I remember that.
And then I got into bachata because that's really my passion. It was not counseling. No one wants to do that. It was really my passion, but not too many people. I want to be a director in a movie. I wanted to direct the best film ever. But as I've gotten older now, that's almost there. It's disappearing. It's one of my bucket list that I probably will not be able to do.
You'll do it. No, you'll do it.
Yeah.
Even if it's a short film, what if a 3-minute short film?
True.
Can enter it into a film festival.
True.
It could go to this CineQuest Film Festival, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be this grand thing. You'll do it. It's
funny because I've been watching a lot of short films lately, and I've been getting a lot of, every time you watch a film, whether they're full film or just short films or animations, you picked up a lot of tips. I picked up a lot of things about the art, I mean,
psychology, your background actually helps you do that, right? Because you understand the psychology of human beings, but also you have to be able to articulate to an actor, a human being. You need to be able to articulate really what you want them to, you know, be motivated by, what you want them to feel, what you want them to really show up on screen. But
Yeah.
you have to do that through your directing skills. And yeah, just do it. You're gonna,
we'll
you're
see.
gonna do it.
Going back to your training, was it just acting or the entire performing? You know, whether it's dancing or singing
training
or what?
includes everything. Oh, you mean as far as focus? Yeah, the school that I went to was just acting.
Okay,
but
got it.
it
Yeah.
included everything like auditioning. So the business side of acting, it included script analysis, character analysis, the techniques, you know, beats, how you break down the beats, how you find the, you know, the climax, and really any piece that you do, whether it's 2 minutes, 3 minutes, or an hour long, you know, the map is in the writing. So it depends on the writer first, right? You get the script, and that's your map. So then you have to prepare that map for your performance. So you have to analyze the map, which is the script. You have to comb through it, find the beats, find the climaxes in the scenes, and where the beats change, where the motivation changes. You have to map it out. So there's a lot of pre-work that an actor does when they get the script, because that's your map. And then what actors do, we have to bring that script, that map alive. And we got to take it off the page, put it in our performance, and then hopefully do it justice, right?
Yeah. Okay, I wanted to ask you this also, as far as chemistry is concerned, because some people, it's just natural, like let's say Pretty Woman, Richard Gere and Julia Roberts. The chemistry there is just natural. I mean, I've even seen how Julia auditioned and Richard Gere auditioned, you know, the story behind this. So like Olavenki, for example, did you create the chemistry, or because you've known Gigi a long time and probably some other actors you co-stars with, that the chemistry was just natural?
That's a great question. Because that's something I've actually talked about before. I've even posted about it, where the challenge with an actor is that you don't always get the luxury of meeting the person that you're supposed to be in love with in this scene.
Yeah.
So you could meet that just by depending on the production. I mean, sometimes you have table reads, you'll meet the other actor, but so many shoots that I've been on, I met the man that I'm supposed to be kissing in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And, we're all just like prepared to get ready, and then action, here you go. So you have to be able to turn it on.
Yeah.
If you don't have the opportunity to even know the other person. But it's always better if you have an opportunity to know them and build that chemistry. We actually did have a moment for the Olavenki scenes where the more precious, scenes that we start falling in love, we had some time to be alone and talk with each other and really get to know each other, because we didn't know each other before the shoot.
Oh, I see. Okay.
The day I met him, I got to...
You've never danced with him before in the social scene?
No, Giju's not the main character.
He wasn't the main character. Okay, no. I got you. Yeah.
He's in the film, but he wasn't the character that I'm in a relationship or fell in love with.
Yeah.
He's one of his friends, one of the main character's friends. So I met my the male character as soon as we were going to shoot. I showed up. Here we go. Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Sonia, and then we're shooting. So it's just, there was no opportunity to do that in the beginning. But luckily, those scenes weren't the relationship scenes at all.
Yeah.
They weren't the chemistry scenes. Later on, because we had spent so much time together on the shoot for all of those days, we already knew each other. We already got to talk in between, but we did take some time before those moments where we were going to kiss.
Yeah.
To prepare for it and really develop that precious energy between us.
But there was no practice before the film, no?
No.
Okay, so let's go further in that when it comes to techniques of kissing, because, in some movies you would know they're doing the technique. In some movies, they're just French kissing. Probably that's part of the script. Is there, in your study, in your training, Yeah, are there different techniques of kissing?
Well, first and foremost, you have to, well, the script's always going to give you direction, right?
I see. Yeah,
what
yeah.
the writer does, how passionate the scene is.
Yeah, yeah.
But if there isn't any specific direction in the script, then, or from the director, then it's an agreement between the two actors, and you do have a conversation. So you have the conversation to say, what are you okay with? What are you not okay with? And you just have to be professional about it, and you have to.
And trust is very important there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I don't think in any of the films I've been in, I've ever French kissed anybody. It just isn't a part of the scripts or the way
right.
you express in the scene. I mean, if it was a part of the script, that would be different, but it's really not necessary. If there's all these other elements that are going on that show that you're falling in love.
Well, unless there's a script in front of you, somebody send you a script, and it's a very challenging part where you're going to be the main character there, and it requires certain things there. Then you're going to have to, you make a decision.
I did actually. That's a good point. I did have a script that was given to me from a director that I had worked with on a few projects. And he reached out to me, he gave me the script, and I read it. And it was about a couple who go on this kind of like a rock climbing trip together. And there were some scenes in there that I just wasn't comfortable with. And so I have a conversation with them, and I said, hey, these are the parts of the script that I'm just not comfortable doing. And I understand this is your script. I understand this is your film. If you feel like these things are important to expressing your, your idea of creating this film, and those are non-negotiable for you, then I won't be a part of it. And it was very diplomatic, very cordial. It's not anything that anybody feels bad about. It's just boundaries, and you just have to understand what those are as an actor. Other actors are okay with different things, and it just depends.
It depends on what do you really want to contribute to the story, right? Whether you really, because some actors are really passionate, and they would even go extra mile to make the character believable, So I guess that depends. My question is certain techniques like that and certain situation like that, is that included in the contract when you guys signed something?
Well, you mean as far as
let's say, for example, you have a love scene, sex scene, and in most major films you see that. In some other actors that I've talked from, they said that's included in some contracts.
Yes, it is included, and what is allowed and what isn't allowed, and what you're willing to do. But that's more for your agent and manager.
Got it. Yeah. And
they should already at that point know you well enough to know what you're willing to do or not do, and guide you and give you some guidance on that. Because sometimes there's a big film where the risk might be worth it, and if you have a boundary, maybe it's something you want to just think about before you say no to the project.
Sure.
So it just depends on the situation and the context of it. I'm sure there's a lot of discussion and the ability to look at it from a bigger picture and have some concessions there.
Right. So now, is True Friendship your first film?
Which one?
Because I'm looking at
Society.
True Friendship Society. Correct. Yeah.
No, that's no. That's
and how big of a part did you have there?
That one had Issa Rae. Issa Rae, True Friendship Society. Issa Rae is a good friend of my cousin who actually lives 4 doors down from me, or I live 4 doors down from her. And she's worked with her on The Adventures of Awkward Black Girl before it became Insecure, right?
Got it, yeah.
It was a YouTube series, and when they were just starting out, and she was a part of that production crew. But I'm sorry. What was our question? What was the point? What was the?
Was that your first film?
True Friendship Society. So
yeah.
she was in that with them, and I was one of the extras in the background of a scene where it's a comedy, right? So she's up there doing this like poetry slam.
Right.
You know, it's so funny. And then we're these like background dancers that were just called besties, and we had these like shredded sleeve shirts, and we would come up on stage and start dancing with the performers. It's funny. Great crew, great group of friends that got together. But no, that is so what you see on IMDb is all
pretty
of the
old stuff, right?
credited work.
Credited work,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, but I've done, God. Like,
what have you done that
hundreds of things. I've
that
done
are significant,
so many,
you think?
well, I think a lot of what I do to stay busy is a lot of independent work, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So there's no pattern. It's just what opportunities come, what I like, what I see, what people reach out to me, my network. When I work with a director, or when I work with a writer or a producer, I'm very professional. I'm prepared. I'm not a diva, so very easy to work with. And so what that's done for me is, and I show up on time, and you know, all those things. What it's done for me is, whenever I work with a director, I always get called back. Like they will call me back even years later to say, hey, I have a part for you. And so once I started building my network in San Jose, at San Francisco, the Bay Area, like I probably built my network for about 1 or 2 years, and then I didn't have to audition anymore.
Yeah.
Then I was just getting called, and people were reaching out to me to say, hey, I got something for you. Hey, I have this, hey, I'm doing this project, or I know somebody who's doing this project. And then I would just get called in for stuff. So I stayed busy.
Got it. Yeah.
And so that's really how it kind of transitioned into all the work that I've done. But not everything that I've done is on IMDb.
Right, right.
A lot of independent work that people are still trying to get together. If it's completed and finished, then it'll be up on IMDb.
Got it. And you don't have an agent, or do you?
I do.
Okay.
An agent. I've had Look Talent, Joan Spangler from Look Talent in San Francisco, since, we've been together for a long time.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I want to say since 2009, I think, 2009, 2010. But I do, now that I moved back to Los Angeles, I do need to get an agent out here. And there's 2 types of agents. There's a theatrical and there's a commercial. So I would need to get an agent for each. So
knowing your background there, and you have years of experience already as far as the film and acting industry is concerned, is it what you know or who you know when it comes to going up to the ladder there?
Both.
Yeah.
But more so being at the right place at the right time.
Got it. Yeah.
And adding another layer to that, it's drive, persistence. Yeah. You know, it's unfortunate, but you'll see a lot of actors who are not as talented as some other actors, but they are persistent and they have the drive, that like drive to keep going. And so there might be another actor who's very talented, but just doesn't have the business drive or like the organization or intention to get the work. And so you have to have drive and passion. I've seen a lot of people who are just so talented, who I wish would do more, but you have to have that drive to keep pushing. You have to. I
mean, I see what you mean as far as, I mean, that's the same thing in the dance industry too. It's just, you know, they might not be a good dancer as compared to others, but they're very well connected and they're very passionate and they really believe in themselves. You know, I've seen some movies also where you just know that the character's like, yeah, she can't act. You know,
but maybe that actor was persistent, and maybe that actor was just like in the right place at the right time and just like kept pushing and kept pushing. And
I don't think she was persistent in this case. she was already a child actress at the time.
Oh, okay. I see.
You know, she started in Panic Room when she did so good, you know, and then when she is into major films, I just was not impressed with her acting. And you probably know what I'm talking about. It's like Panic Room or the vampire movie, Kristen Stewart, you know, but but that's just my opinion as a non-actor,
Sure.
non-producer, as just a moviegoer, that is, you know, especially that movie series about Twilight and all of that stuff, especially the third part of the movie, which was the end series. I was not impressed with that ending at all, but that's
yeah, it just depends on what you like and what you know, what works for you, right? I'm sure a lot of other viewers who love it, right? And it just depends on what you're into and what you like and what you enjoy.
Yeah, it's I'm glad I have you here because you know, there are several of you now in our dance industry who have gone into this type of passion that you guys have, whether it's filming or something else. Like Emily Allaby, for example. I mean, she's in the right place.
How is she doing? I remember
she's in some series or something, you know.
And Junior at the salsa festivals.
Yeah.
God, they were so amazing. And I remember when they moved, but I don't know what they're up to or anything. I have to.
She's been getting some work when it comes to the film industry, like TV series and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know about Junior what he's up to, but I know he's up to something else. Probably not filming. Juju is still producing some films, and I think they just started their second season.
Juju moved to Texas, right? Is he still in Texas?
They just started shooting their second season of Metro, which is a Indian TV series or something, you know.
Great. I have to get in contact with Juju to catch up with him.
Yeah.
To him in a while, but we check in once in a while, you know.
He's been busy, and the thing about that brother that we have is that his heart is really not into 100% in filming per se. You know what I mean? Or because he has a daily job and he doesn't want to quit that. You know, so there is that, you know, a balance that he's trying to do.
Hard.
It's hard.
You know, I'm in that same situation. I'm in the same situation where, you know, you have to support yourself because, you know, it's not gonna, your passion's not gonna support you.
Yeah.
It's a journey, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, for many years, I had to make the choice to choose, let's say, a less, a position, a job with less responsibility so that I can audition more, right? Or more flexibility so I can audition more. And then other years, like now, or over the past few years, where I work now, I love my job. I don't want to leave it. And it provides me with stability and security, and I love what I do, but I also have the opportunity to act outside of that. And so, you know, it's a tough balance. You have to have a company that will respect your art. And the company I work for now does that. And I've actually interviewed for other companies where as soon as I tell them my passion and that I'm an actor, they'll immediately say like, oh no, is that going to interfere with your job? Like, we want to make sure you're not going to, you know, be leaving for auditions every day. And, you know, it's just, it's difficult because you don't know who you can share your passion with and act the job. But luckily I'm in a good place and I can balance the two. But I know Juju, you know, he has a great job. So great.
I was just talking to him about, you remember that time where he produced the very first salsa-ish type of album, right?
Yes.
And boy, it really went well. And that was his window of opportunity to, you know, go at it full time and passionate. He didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do it.
He's a great producer. He's got the business acumen to be a producer. I mean, full time. Like, he could do it full time, but it's about taking a risk, right?
Yeah,
You
that
got to
too.
take the
You have to
risk.
take a risk. That too. I mean, there is that. I mean, remembering Sylvester Stallone trying to sell his script, the first Rocky, going door to door, nobody wanted it. And when someone finally wanted it, we just want the script, we just want to buy it from you, but we don't want
He's
you
like, nope.
on it. It's like, then you can't. That was
Like,
a
nope,
risk
not
because
giving
there
it
was
up.
the money there. And then he filmed it being in the film, knowing that he was not making any money in that movie.
Yeah.
Now that's the risk that you're talking about. It was an investment, really, if you think about it.
Yeah,
Jesus.
he took the right risk. And I actually did that in 2009. I took the risk. I I quit my job. I quit my career. I was in sales. I was in a very good, stable company.
Yeah.
For 8 years, I was in sales and making great money.
Yeah.
In the Bay Area. So I quit my job.
Oh my God.
I quit my job for 2 years and I lived off my savings for 2 years. And all I did for those 2 years was act, audition, study, audition, act. Like all I did. It was the happiest 2 years of my life because I got to do what I love without having any other interferences. And it was beautiful, but eventually my savings ran out. So I had to get a job. I had to go back to work and get a job.
Yeah.
But you got to take those risks.
Did you regret it?
No, absolutely not.
It's passion. It's passion.
Yeah.
I tell you, it's the same way for me when it comes to bachata. I had a good job. I got a government job, and I was on my third year for cognition, brain, and behavior PhD degree in Berkeley. I left that because I started getting invited all over the world for bachata. And at that time, no one knew what bachata was. That's why I was one of the few people who was promoting it and then teaching it, of course. And and one of my dreams was to see the world. And I knew that was the window of opportunity right there, that if I don't take it, it will never happen again, because then I'm going to end up like this, no hair, getting old. And as you know, in the dance industry, you got to be young, you got to look good a little bit, you got to have hair, whatever, and I knew that was going to happen. So I took it. I took the risk of quitting my job, leaving the job sector, giving up a PhD degree. I had at least probably one more year at that time, and onto bachata. That was 2006. I never looked back.
You don't regret it, do you?
Yeah.
See?
Because I'm happy.
That's what matters.
I'm not miserable, you see.
That's what matters.
Yeah. Now,
and I feel like, with you choosing to, you can always go back to school for your PhD. You can always do that later. But when those opportunities come, and they're beautiful opportunities that's really to your passion, and you just got in your intuition, and everything inside of you is telling you, I got to do this. You have to. Because you regret not doing that, because those things don't come around all the time.
That's true. Yeah.
You can do when you're 90 years old, you can go get your PhD. But these opportunities to travel and dance, which is your passion, I think that was, a good call. And I feel like with acting too, I don't act for fame, and I don't act for money. I never have. And that's important to me, because if I ever did it for fame, and if I ever did it for money, I would not like it anymore. I would not love it anymore. I act because I love it, because it's my passion. It's truly what God planted in my heart as my dream and desire. He planted it in my heart. Yeah. And every time I've tried to veer away from it to be like, oh, I'm going to focus on my career at work, and I'm going to focus on this, I always get ripped right out of that and back into acting. And mountains get moved for me that I don't even know are mountains in my life. But I always get pulled back into acting, and my journey is what makes me happy. I am happy right now. I'm not happy because I'm not trying to achieve a destination in the future of happiness based on some type of success. Sure. I'm happy today, and I will continue to be happy tomorrow, as long as I work towards my craft every day.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, do you still go dancing?
I started to go dancing
When?
with Darwin, my
Yeah.
old partner Darwin.
Where's Darwin now? In San Jose or LA?
In San Jose, yes.
Okay.
Right when we went into shelter in place with COVID, I don't know if you know this, but I had a car accident in 2019.
I did not know this. Oh, wow.
Really bad car accident, 2019, in March 2019. And so
That was like a year ago.
yes.
Oh my God. Okay.
And it changed my life because I had nerve damage in my neck. I had my whole body, nerve damage, neck issues, sciatica, my hip, my knee, my left leg, my lower back. I was in physical therapy, acupuncture, chiropractor. I was seeing a chiropractor. I was doing Pilates for therapy. I did so much in that first year to help heal. But this nerve pain is really the last thing that's kind of just still bothering me, the neck pain. But during that time after the car accident, I gained 30 pounds.
Wow.
So it's because of all of the, I couldn't be active. I couldn't do all the things I used to do with all the pain. I had insomnia because I couldn't even lay my head on a pillow because the pain in my neck was so excruciating. If I laid my head on a pillow, yeah, I would just be in pain. I would just sit right back up. So I couldn't sleep. So it was just kind of a snowball effect of all of the pain. And I'm not the type of person that wants to take pain medication, so I didn't.
Oh no, that's the reason.
I just tried to work through as much of it as I could and heal naturally. But when I got out of most of that recovery, I started to work out again. I started to, get back into my physical activity. And one of the things I missed the most was dancing. So I reached out to Darwin and I said, hey, buddy, I need to dance. I just need to dance. Let's get together. He's like, oh, actually, I'm teaching a friend of mine. Do you want to come by and, we'll rehearse? I'm like, okay. So I started doing that once a week and then a couple times a week. And then I started building up my momentum, and Darwin knows where I've been. So he knew where I was at when I started seeing him, and I still had a long way to go. And so he kept encouraging me. You got this, girl. I know what you can do. You're going to do it. Your core is getting tighter. Your form is getting better. So every week I would just improve and improve. And so it took months. I mean, I think I started rehearsing with them maybe, 4 or 5 months ago. I don't know. It took months, and I wouldn't say I'm 100%, but I'm a lot better than I was in March. So we did a music video last Saturday, a week ago. And guess what? We were dancing salsa in the music video. So
So you usually just go back and forth between LA and San Jose then?
Yes, since I moved here, I've flown back to San Jose 3 times.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
And it's really because there's always something out there, like an opportunity that's calling me back. So I did have that music video shoot that we did last Saturday that I flew back for last Saturday. And then I flew back.
I think I saw an old message from you in Facebook saying, is your social still happening tonight? Something. I think I was like, I don't know if that was last year or you're really an old.
That was probably years ago.
Yeah, years ago. But any project on dancing at all, or any ideas that you may have that you want to do, or pretty much you are concentrated on the acting business? Concentrated
on acting. I think if a part calls for me to have to dance, then at least I know I have that ability. But acting is my primary goal, is just focusing on that craft. Jeanette and Brian were a part of the shoot last week as well.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes. And so
you guys were the original Funk Nasty.
Yes. Yeah. I got the dance crew back together for this music video.
Awesome.
Great. When it comes out, I'll share it with you. So you can
Yeah. Make sure you show or tag me something on Facebook or something.
Yes. And she asked me the same question, and I said, I'm focusing on acting. That's my passion. So I'll dance if I need to, if I have to, because I love it as well. That's more for fun.
It's for energy release if you have free time,
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, social dancing, that is, you know, it's one thing to train in dancing. It's another thing to social dance with the people you know. Because, you know, I remember you being a good dancer back in the old day and performing as well, or even partying in our room parties. I've
In
seen
the
you at your,
festivals.
girl, I've seen you at your worst where you just fell asleep.
And luckily, you know, I'm blessed to have wonderful people surrounding me.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
My whole life, because I've always been, people care for me and take care of me, right? And I remember, I specifically remember thinking, I'm so blessed. Like, people really look out for me and make sure I'm good. I'm okay.
Yeah, because we were, yeah, like, okay, let's all go downstairs and dance. Hey, what about Sonia? I was like,
No.
don't worry about Sonia. I was like, and then
Like,
I think Ryan said, no, I'm gonna watch Sonia. Don't worry, I got her. Yeah.
Yep. Ryan's been a blessing too. He's taking care of me. Everybody's been like watchdogs, security dogs, like take care of.
That's the way it is in our small circle, especially in the Bay Area, because I would never. I tell you what, I would never replace the love of the Bay Area in the social dance scenes that we do, because compared to others or in the world, we have a small circle there.
Yes.
But the great thing about the small circle we have is that even though on some other times we're competitors when it comes to promoting or dance teacher, blah, 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 at the end of the day, we do care for each other. At the end of the day, the respect is there, which is missing from other social dance scenes in the world, you know. So
yeah, I feel that with the Bay Area, a lot of the dancers truly, you know, it's a good community. It's a community you want to be a part of. It's not a vicious community in any way. Like, everybody's really good to each other and they respect each other. And I feel like I've always, you know, felt that you can just, you can bounce around from different venues or different promoters who are having different salsa or dance events, and everybody supports one another. So I think that's a beautiful thing.
So give me your top 5 film of all time. It doesn't matter what type of film.
Oh gosh, it changes all the time because
Does it
come out. You know, I'll give you my top.
Okay.
I'll maybe my top 3.
Okay.
So, a long time ago, there was this film called Follow Me Home. And it was written, produced, and directed by Benjamin Bratt's brother, Peter Bratt. He's from San Francisco.
Okay.
And he screened that film in independent film theaters. And I happened to catch it at one of the independent film theaters downtown San Jose. And it was so good. It was so good. And so good that I bought another ticket and went back the next day to watch it again.
Interesting.
And my family. And I thought it was just a wonderful film. And I couldn't wait till I could watch it on like DVD. But he never released it.
Are you serious? He never released it?
No. So he still kind of like has it. And I, you know, would love to watch it again. I watched it twice, but that's still always going to be my all-time favorite. Benjamin Bratt was in it. Alfred Woodard. It's just a wonderful, I think right now, if he released it right now, it would be so timely. It would be perfect.
He could release it, or probably he could remake it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess so, but I think it's good the way it is. You know, it's an indie film, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You know what you're getting when you watch it, but I loved it. That's my all-time favorite, and I hope one day other people get to watch it too. My second is Call Me by Your Name. Call Me by Your Name with Timothy Chalamet and Armie Hammer. God, that's a beautiful, beautiful love story. I love it. I've watched it so many times. I lost count how many times I've watched it. It's so good. And that one just came out a few years back. It's not even, you know, that old, but oh God, it blew me away. It's such a beautiful love story. And then the third would be Life is Beautiful, the Italian film.
Life is Beautiful. Yeah, that's a great film.
That one will never fall off my top 3.
Great film. Yeah.
Off my top 3. So.
Yeah. Well, Sonia, where can they find you if they want to befriend you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram. You can also find me on IMDb. So if you go to IMDb, you can search Sonia Balcazar.
Yeah.
You can find me there. It's just imdb.me/Sonia Balcazar.
Right. Yeah.
Just do the search. You can also find me on Instagram under ChicanXS. So it's XICANXS. And you'll see my profile. It's public, and you'll see Sonia Balcazar there. You can follow me there. I usually share most of my acting projects and upcoming things on my stories, or I'll share the finished, like produced work, little clips of it on there. But most of it's going to be, you know, I used to have a website, but it was a lot to maintain, and people don't really visit your website.
Yeah.
Visit the social media platforms like Facebook or Instagram. But I feel like a lot of the audience who kind of follow me typically go towards the social media route and not towards the website. So that's why I focus on that. I'm also on Facebook at Sonia Balcazar as well. And let's see, how else?
Is there any project that you work at or work with that it's not published yet that we need to watch out for?
Yes.
Are you allowed to reveal that secret, or?
Yes. Well, there's a lot of stuff. You know, there's a lot of projects that are always. Well, sometimes here's how it goes. Like sometimes I'll work on something.
Yeah.
And depending on production and their schedule and the budget, they may want it to release soon, but then they run out of money or whatever. Something happens. They lose the footage or something. I don't know. Then years later, I hear from that production, hey, guess what? We're going to release the film that you did.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, great. It's 4 years later. Here we go. I was in a film called Rice. That's what happened. I mean, I did that one years ago, and then that
was in 2018, right?
Yes, but I filmed that one years before that. And then it finally, came together.
Yeah.
Years later, I'm like, oh, I forgot about that one. But I do have. I'm actually transitioning into, I talked about earlier about. I know I gotta go soon. I know you gotta go too. But let me let you know. I think it's important that we tell our stories, right? I think it's important that we tell the stories of the human condition, but also from our life experiences culturally. What have people of color experienced in my world? Like how I grew up on the east side of San Jose, right? So I see a lot of the struggle and a lot of the stories of perseverance and fight and drive and like really accomplishment from our people of color that I want to see those heroes on television. I want to see those heroes on the screen, in movies, in Hulu, in Netflix. Like I want to see them on Amazon Prime. I want to see them there. So you have to be a part of manifesting those things yourself. So I'm getting a crew of friends together and we're producing our own work. So we're meeting, weekly to talk about our production schedule, but we have an anthology that's coming up, a 3-episode anthology that we're working on. We'll be over the next few months. And then when we release it, it'll be online. So you'll be able to find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And, that's where we're starting, right? So that's my next passion project for myself, but I have a lot of projects that are in the pipeline that are in editing, post-production. So as soon as I get word that they're released, then I'll share it.
Great. One of my dreams is to produce a movie of dance that's not like the others, because we already know about all of that.
This before. You mentioned this before, right?
I did. I just, I got to get to it somehow because of all the projects I have. This is one of my bucket lists because all of the dance movies that I've seen so far sucked, meaning it's a typical, here's this white girl met by this salsero and then they fall in love and then they break up. The family did not agree. Come on, man. That's not the only story.
Someone doesn't know how to dance. Someone learns how to dance.
I mean, come on. Not to mention not real dancers were there, So
Right.
But that's one of those days. But Sonia, it's great to see you because I have not seen you in a long time, girl. So whenever you're in town and I happen to have a festival coming in, let me know, okay?
Yes.
And we'll take care of you there. And, it's up to you what you want to do, or you just want to social dance, no problem.
There you go.
All right?
I might need to brush up on my salsa skills again and bachata skills again.
You got that. You got the muscle memory there, girl. You got the muscle memory. But anyway, good luck.
Thank you.
All of your endeavors, okay?
Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I'm so grateful. Good luck to you.
And we'll see you soon.
We'll talk soon.
All right.